So it's called identity, not identity, because I get to decide who I am. You get to decide who you are. Isn't that lovely? And I'm identity. I go by they, them pronouns. And this is the Identity Project, where we are actually interviewing LGBTQI folks, real live people, instead of what we just see on social media, right? So I'm very excited for our first guest to have Melanie A. Scott. Melanie A. Scott has 3 songs on all the streaming platforms, including Apple Music and Spotify. And one of the joys that Melanie and I were talking about was open mic night. So would you give a round of applause to Melanie A. Scott?
This is, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm very happy to be here with Identity and, and talking about open mic and open mic life, actually. It's not just, just a performance. It's just so much to it. So we were talking about it, and I said I wanted to write an article about it. And then we said, well, let's do an interview. Let's do a live about it and talk about it. So I talked to a few people at open mics and a few people who give open mics to kind of get an idea because it's not just my opinion. So let's get at it. What do you have?
Beautiful.
Ask me.
So what is open mic? I did a little research, y'all. Do y'all know about open mics? Kind of the biggest thing that happened in the U.S. at least was part of the Beat Generation. Are you familiar with this? Oh, y'all know this. Okay. Do you know the Beat Generation?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little? What is that? An open mic?
I don't know how
Jack
it relates
Kerouac.
No, I'm not, no, you inform us. You
Okay,
tell us.
apparently Jack Kerouac, by the way, for those of you who don't know, is part of the LGBTQ. What's that? On the road, right? Part of the LGBT community, and apparently he's considered the grandfather of open mics, at least the way it's played out here. And we'd get together and talk about politics and talk about philosophy and share poems and music. And the idea was to share ideas in a communal way, not in a corporate way. And it was kind of like anti-capitalist back in the day. And so that's kind of how open mics started in coffee houses and whatnot. And then they moved to beautiful places like McDermott's in the pub. Right? No, wait. McDermott's pub in the neck. In the neck.
Right.
And so started moving into bars. And so that's how that happened. So tell us about your experience in open mic.
Well, actually, I was deathly afraid of open mics. I was in basically a guitar circle. We used to get together like once a month or whatever. And one of the people there was having an open mic. And so I felt comfortable because I was comfortable with that group of people. And that was at Barley's. I don't even think it's called Barley's anymore. That must have been about 8 years ago. And I did that one open mic, and then I didn't go to any other. And then people kept encouraging me to go to on Bielbach. And I just stumbled in there one night, and I was hooked. I was just hooked.
What was
Yeah.
the hook?
What was the hook? Oh, ego. Let's be honest. You go to open mic and you do your thing. You either do covers or you do your originals, whatever. And it's a very welcoming and supportive type of atmosphere usually. It beats sitting in your own little room playing to yourself, and it's so yeah, it was great.
I'm so glad that happened. My first time at an open mic was at Mazzy's, and a lot of the same people that are here were there too. And Greg ran it. Greg and Mary were running it. Snaps to y'all. And Greg kept saying, "You're gonna do something tonight, right? You're gonna do something." And I'm like, "I don't know what. No, very much like I'm just browsing." And I think I definitely have a slow to warm personality. Did you jump right in when you were at your open
Oh
mic?
my gosh, it was so long ago. I don't even remember. I No, I don't think I jumped right in. I might have seen somebody I knew. I think I saw somebody I knew, and that was it. I kind of glommed onto that one person and stuck to them like glue, and that helped me.
I love
So
that.
yeah.
So you were telling me the other night that open mics are super important, and you go to a bunch of them. So play that out for us.
Okay, so yeah, open mics for me. Well, first of all, let me. Okay, for me, open mics are the best deal in town. You get to see so many different levels of talent and types of music. If you go to a show, especially, okay, we're very blessed. We're in New York, and New York has everything. You can see the best of everybody. You can see the best artists. You can, Billy Joel has residency here. Pink. You can see everybody, but you're gonna pay through the nose. Not that they don't deserve the money, but they just, it costs you a lot of money to go see a show at the Garden or at BAM or wherever. You go to an open mic, you see local musicians often who are as good as some of the big names that we pay for. They may be just starting out, or they may be retired and returning to music. Because let's face it, being a musician is not a job, it is a lifestyle. You have to decide at some point if you want to be a professional musician. Do you want to not see your family 11 months out of the year? Do you want to travel on buses all the time? Do you want to be in a situation where you may or may not get paid? Do you, often may not. Do you want to not be able to pay your bills? Do you want to take a chance on maybe you'll make a hit, maybe you won't? It's a lifestyle choice. So a lot of people, an overwhelming number of people, have other jobs and they make music on the side. And a lot of people have full careers. Fabulous musicians have full careers, and then once they retire, they can dedicate their time to music. And a lot of times they show up at open mics. Some of the musicians I see at open mics, they would absolutely blow your mind. And you're like, why don't they have a contract? Why don't they have albums? Because at that point, they don't want to do that anymore.
Well, and it's interesting. I've noticed there have been various ages, various diversity. Talk about DEI at open mics, and what's interesting about open mics is that we have a lot of people who are at varied skills, and the audience is always so supportive. Is that true for you too?
Absolutely. I always say that you'll never know how good you are at this open mic because they clap for everybody. But that's good, because if you're just starting out and you're not yet an aficionado, you need the support. You need somebody to say, good job, because it may not be, the clapping may not be for your skill. The clapping is for your effort and for your gumption and for your getting out there and fighting down the fear and whatever might have kept you in your room. And for the clapping is for your effort to entertain us. So yeah.
And that brings me back to thinking about the original open mics, or at least maybe not original, but the first open mics in the 50s and 60s, and how it wasn't about making money, right? It's about community. It's about being communal. And I was just talking to someone earlier, and we were saying how in this particular group, I feel like it's a traveling band, right? Because every other open mic I go to, I see the same faces. It's like a family. It's a community. And there's something magical and beautiful about that versus I buy someone's CD that was put through a corporation, right? And and so I don't know. I'm thinking about Britney Spears and how she was rung through the machine, right?
Right.
And how many artists
Well,
are
she came
rung
through
through the
Disney,
machine.
so
Right. But this is not about that. This is about people actually connecting with each other and
Right.
sharing ideas, and people are talking behind the scenes while someone's playing, maybe, or
Right.
talking afterwards, or helping each other out with like, I'll help you with your song. Maybe
Right.
we'll play together. A lot of networking, and I think that's really special here.
And it's funny you should mention that word, because all the people I spoke to, and I spoke to a number of people, as I said, preparatory for this day, and the one word that came up over and over and over again when I asked the question, why do you do open mics? It's always the word community comes up. It's for the community. It's for the sense of community. It's for the feeling of community. So people, yes, they come for the music. They come to play music. They come to listen to music, but they come really for the friendship. They really come to commune with others who are like-minded, who also like music. And when you talk about people, can I help you with this music? The the they may not call, there are certain open mics that they call it jams, but they're always jamming at open mics. They're always mixing, like you saw today, where people will sit down, somebody will play drums, somebody will play keyboard, somebody will play lead on some song, or they'll play backgrounds, or they'll sing. So there's always a mix going on of music. You're gonna hear things at open mics you're not gonna hear anyplace else. And also another point that you made, if you go and see a famous person, you go to a show, you'll get a great show. and it'll be worth the money you pay. But let's face it, Pink is not going to come and have a burger with you after the show. Okay, Billy Joel is not going to sit down and have a beer with you and talk about his music. You get to talk with the musicians. You get to sit down and make friends with the musicians and talk about, that lyric. Because people have come up to me and said, "What does that lyric mean?" Or "What does this mean?" Or "This really touched me," or that blah blah blah. And so you get to talk to the musicians who are making the music, because sometimes music touches you, and you don't ever get a chance to get that feedback, give that feedback, or get that feedback. So it's a very personal experience in very many ways. And songs that I've written, people have come up to me and told me that it's meant something to them, and that's extremely special to me.
So I'm hearing you say that there's an intimacy and a community.
Absolutely.
There's a culture
Absolutely.
around it too, which is so affirming and kind and welcoming, and also continually networking and growing together.
Absolutely.
In addition to that, you were telling me that you go to how many now?
Oh my gosh, I
A
can't
week?
even count.
About?
A week, it could be anywhere from one to, how many days are in a week? 17? I've been known to go to two open mics in a single day.
I didn't
And
know there were so many.
oh my gosh, and there are, as it's so funny, because a few months ago people were complaining that the open mics were closing down, but then now more and more opening up. So it's
So can we go there and talk about the closing down a little bit?
Okay.
I heard a rumor that open mics don't make the place, the pub, the whatever money. Is that true?
I'm not a pub owner, so
Oh,
I
that's
can't.
fair. That's
So,
fair.
I know that that's a constant refrain. Usually, my experience, my observation, and this is strictly my observation, I don't know if it's generalized. People who at open mic nights or open mics, the people who go to open mics are the performers, and maybe a spouse or a friend, with rare exceptions. But it's also been my experience that the places that have open mics, they don't put open mics on their busiest nights. So they would be empty if it weren't for the open mics.
Oh, so they would have been empty anyway, and so this is a way to bring in some money.
Exactly.
I'm going to interject a little bit of queer stuff. I feel like that's what they did with gay nights. A lot of straight bars used to, like, their dead nights, they would like make that the gay night to bring money in. It's true over the years. Speaking of that, you mentioned that open mic nightlife has its own lifestyle, it's a musician's lifestyle. Is it welcoming to all folks as well?
It depends. I mean, this, look, you know, years ago, probably way before your time, there used to be a show on TV called The Naked City, and it was about New York. It was a cop show about New York, and its tagline was, "There are 8 million stories in the naked city. This is just one of them." Well, as many different open mics, as many different locations, that's how many different stories you get. Some of them are very, very open to everybody. Some of them are not. I spoke to a fellow who's running an open mic, and I asked him the other question I asked, which is, why do you run an open mic? And he was actually from Jersey, and he said that he had heard about the open mic scene in New York, but that the ones that he went to were very cliquish. So that's why he chose to run his own open mic that was more open. I haven't really run into that too much. The open mics I've been to have been, for the most part, very welcoming, but that wasn't his experience. So my answer would be, it depends on which ones you run into.
That's fair. That's a really honest answer. I'll tell you my experience so far. This group that I keep bumping into, I didn't know I'd always see the same faces, but every time I go to an open mic that I've heard of, incredibly welcoming, incredibly welcoming. And if you're part of the LGBTQIA plus community, it's like you're just coming home, just to any other group. And it's not a queer thing. It's more like just, we are here to hang out. We want to get to know you, and we want to get to know your songs. And I don't know if you all know this, but I'm actually really shy. I'm an introvert. And so the first couple of times, you all remember when I showed up, I would sit in the corner, and Greg and Mary were like, "You want to do something?
He's
You want to
also
do?"
he's also a really big liar. So
It's identity, not identity. So, so yeah, I would sit in the corner and I wouldn't go up and stuff. And then they'd be like, come on, you could do one. And then here's the other thing: so just do one. And then after you do one,
Right.
they'd be like,
The bug is
you got
bit
another
you."
one though? You got
Right.
another one? You can do
Right.
another one, right? And we can even do karaoke. Like they did all that kind of stuff. And I was so intimidated because I was like, I'm not a musician. I can't do
Right.
this. And it inspired me to take the guitar off my
Right.
wall and actually dust it off and play a little bit.
Well, I have to ask you, were you bitten by the bug once you did it?
The bug never bites me. It's more like I wade into the water toe at a little toe, and then a little. It takes me a while to warm up. But what I'm saying is, as a person of color, as a queer person, I never felt like I wasn't welcome. People would address me by name. People would look me in the face that I didn't even know, and they'd be like, "Oh, I heard you last time. You were great." And I'm like, "Really? I was great. Come on, let's be honest, right?" Again, open mic.
Well,
People are so supportive, but it just felt like coming home in a way that I didn't feel in many other spaces.
well, I'm going to tell you that you started off well when you started off with Greg and Mary, and I'm not saying that because you're sitting over there, and Greg is my engineer and my producer. I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying that just because of that, but they are very, very warm and
Yeah,
welcoming
and Michael
people.
too. Michael's like, "Hey, send me your song. I'll play with you." Right? I was
Right,
like,
right,
"What?
right.
What? Who wants to hear my song?"
However, I have been to open mics that are, they're very. It's not that they're not warm. It's just that they're very perfunctory. They're very, very business. Sign up. You'll be called. Blah 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 blah. So it's like I said. It depends.
Well, then I'm going to need to follow you more so that we can know which ones to go to because these are all the fun ones
I say
and
go
very
to all
warm.
of them. Go to all
Go
of
to
them.
the ones that are a
Go
little,
to all. Now,
why are you here?
I have not run into any that are like don't come back. And it hasn't to me. It hasn't been a matter of cultural in terms of racial, and it hasn't been in terms of orientation. What it has been in terms of music, though, I
Oh,
have run into open mics where like we are bluegrass or we are jazz or we are rock and we don't want to hear anything else,
that's fair.
so I have run into that.
I
So,
totally get that. Now, I want people to get to know you a little bit more. So you have 3 songs on Spotify, Apple, and all that. Can you tell us the name of those songs again?
okay, so the first one we put out was "Mama, I Miss You," and we're gonna be really promoting that one because Mother's Day is coming up. So
It's a
we're gonna
powerful song.
right. So that one I wrote about my mama, of course, and everybody's mama. Um, And then we put out Ghost Town, which you heard Joanne do a version of that tonight, to this afternoon. And then we put out Prophecy, which is an anthem. Now, Mama, I Miss You and Prophecy were both sung by my very good friend, Naomi Nyasha, who has the voice of God. I swear she does. And Ghost Town, I sang on. So
Beautiful.
I don't consider myself a musician. I consider myself a songwriter. Um,
Ah.
and in June, I'm going to put together. I am putting together a show where I'll have other musicians playing my originals. I'm really looking forward to that. And then that's June 13th, and then a week after that, June 21st, is the Make Music New York, which is a citywide event. And we'll have 14 acts that day. It'll be from noon till 7 p.m. And we'll have 14 acts that day, each playing a half an hour each. And those both events will be at Christchurch, Riverdale.
Okay, okay, and we'll follow you to learn more about that.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
great. Thanks for sharing that.
So yeah.
Another thing I saw, I did a little snooping,
Uh oh.
is that I've noticed that your videos have a lot of purple in the background, and you are in purple outfits a lot. What's that about?
Purple is the color of royalty.
Oh, and
And
yes, you are.
well, and there's this huge argument in between my sister and I about my grandmother, who's a kind of a mysterious character. So I was told by my mother that my grandmother, which is my father's mother, was from Cuba, and that she was actually Cuban royalty. So it's in my blood.
You
But
heard it here.
my sister says she was Jamaica. I don't think I have any Jamaican relatives, but that's the big argument between my sister and I. So
Interesting.
so I say I'm Cuban royalty.
All
So
right, but I do know that whether or not you're royalty or not, I do know you're a DIY kind of gal. Is that right?
oh my
You
gosh,
have a
please.
guitar door.
Yeah.
What is that? Can you tell
Well,
folks what
I
that is?
was I was trying to find some way to because I have dry heat in my house to have my guitars so that they had the proper humidity. So I went out and went on Facebook Marketplace and got a free uh what do you call it, armoire, and I took it apart, took the inside apart, and lined it with cedar shingles, and then put a humidifier in it, and so now it's a humidor for my guitars. I can fit 7 guitars and my ukulele into it. So yeah, I do stuff like that. I built the deck in my backyard, and I do stuff.
I just got it. Humidor,
Guitar adore.
adore.
Yeah.
Wordsmith as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would want someone who's thinking about going to an open mic and feeling a little like, I don't know if I should go, I don't know if I could play, I don't know if I could sing or my poem? What would you say to them?
Go. Go. Oddly enough, whenever I mention that I do open mics to people who are not that familiar with open mics, they immediately think it's comedy.
Oh, interesting.
It's not. I mean, for me,
I thought it was slam poetry.
Yeah,
Before I stumbled into
think
this.
it's poetry. And a lot of open mics do usually have like 1 or 2 comedians, or maybe they might have a poet, or they might, they allow these things. But the ones I go to are mostly music, and of course mostly guitar, because I think guitar, because it's the easiest thing to carry around.
Not a harpsichord.
It's so funny because there's a woman who plays. She actually has a harp. It's a small harp, and she carries a small. It's about that big.
It's a short harp. It's a sharp.
And she's she's actually very good. Her name is Wildflower. Well, Wildflowers is what she goes by. So, but I just want to before we wind up. So right now, I am currently going to open mics here at McDermott's in the Neck. They also have another McDermott's at Westchester Square that they have an open mic at, which is not regular. It's like once a month or so. I don't know. Mike can tell you more about that. I do on Beelbach every Tuesday. I practically live in that place. Every Tuesday I can be found there. Joanne's, of course. Yeah.
Hey, Joanne.
Community.
Unitarian,
Universal
Congregation at White Plains. It's CUC, but we don't call it COOP.
Okay, CUC in White Plains. That's once a month. On the second Friday of the month. There's an open mic at the Artist on City Island. I don't know if that's still going. Is that still going on, Wayne? Do you know?
Yeah,
okay.
We're getting audience participation now.
Yes, of course. And that was the great thing about actually being here to do that.
And we can also post it so that you know what they are, and we'll tag them.
The last Friday of the month is the mic is open at Jolo's Vegan Jamaican Vegan Cafe in New Rochelle. Okay, and there's the 18th Ward, which is every Thursday. So, which is also New Rochelle. I have to clarify, if you are a New Yorker, the place is New Rochelle. If you are from outside of New York, it is New Rochelle. Okay. But those of us
if you're from Manhattan, it's upstate.
But I have this discussion with my wife all the time. She says it's New Rochelle. I said, no, it's not. It's New Rochelle. Okay.
Westchester folks speak very differently.
New Rochelle.
So we have a bunch of things to do. We can find you. Tell us where to find you again. You have more.
If I don't say this, I will be.
Oh, please.
So there's the Liffey 2 Bar every Sunday, as well. I think that's the ones I'm going to right now. Oh, there's the Black Cow in where's that? Cortland, the Black Cow in Cortland, and there's the which one the Cube Bar in the Cuban. The Cuban, that was also a very good Cuban restaurant in Tarrytown. Did I get them all? I think I got them all.
If not, we'll put them in.
Yeah, but you can usually just Google open mics in your area, and there are more and more. I just saw another one today. They're coming up, and I suspect that in the summer you'll probably see more of them.
And there's one at the beach, I hear.
Yeah, the beach
in
club.
The summer.
In the summer, Mike takes this whole thing and switches it up to the beach club.
Yeah.
And that usually, instead, most open mics are 2 or 3 hours. When Mike moves us to the beach club, it becomes an all day thing.
Oh, I love that.
And it's beautiful. The beach club is beautiful. It's right between the Tri-Borough, the RFK and the Frogneck and Whitestone. So there you go.
Sorry, we'll let you know. And here's the beautiful thing about Melanie is that Melanie will respond to DMs. So if you are following Melanie, which you should, how do we find you on Instagram?
Methyl-Danny1. Are you supposed to ask me about that, Tomorrow? Methyl-Danny1 is on Instagram.
And what does that mean?
Okay. So
In our last minute.
Right. Everybody asked me what methyl-Danny means. Well, my kids, my actual kids, not my grandkids, because I raised my grandkids as well, who are now adults. But my kids, when they came to me, they were 9 and 10 years old. My wife had 2 children, and they, of course, weren't going to call me mom. So they used to call me Methyl-Danny. It's a play on my name, Methyl-Danny Scoop. And my oldest one used to call me Methyl-Danny Scoop, and just kind of stuck. So I started using that just as
such a sweet story. So Methyl-Danny1 on Instagram, on Apple Music and Spotify, you're going to look for Melanie A. Scott.
Right.
Make sure you put the A in there. Alicia.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
My
This
goodness.
has been very enjoyable.
So this is the first of the I.Den.T.T Project doing these interviews. We're hoping that you like it. If you like it, what is it? Like, subscribe, comment, all that nonsense.
All that stuff.
But also the main point is to make sure that we are spreading some joy.
Right.
What are you doing today at the end of today, before the end of today, that's going to give you some joy?
I'm going to go spend some time with my niece, which is what I almost always do after this open mic. She's my pride and joy, my ride or die.
I love that.
Don't tell my other nieces that, though.
Be well, everyone. Please give Melanie A. Scott a round of applause, y'all.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the spring.
Thank you again for having us here. This is a great spot. Be well, everyone.